Giving all praise and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders of GMS. Also salutations to all the Akim out there that's wishing is true. And also shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect. And I think I'm going to title this Russia Has Spoken, right? Because we see these nations, being prepared. All these nations are preparing for war. You just had, I think it was North Korea, went and set up shop over there near Russia. I think you might have had maybe, I can't remember, but you got different militaries, all right, putting their soldiers in different places right now, and they're all waiting, basically for this war, like it's written, what's that in the book of Revelation? Just said what? The third woe cometh, So we're at that third woe, right? So let's grab, hold on, which this is a good one too, right here in Joel. Let's think about bringing it out, but it talks about how it's gonna, drag America over here, to that war, So let's grab this scripture real quick. Third woe, right? Revelations 11 and 14, right? It says, I'll start from 13. In the same hour was there a great earthquake. The 10th part of the city fell. In a earthquake were slain 7,000 men, and the remnant was a fright. And that's talking about the nuclear destruction. All right. Once America decide to make that move on Iran, right? That's when Russia is going to get involved. All right, that's why it's written in the book of Ezekiel. He's going to put hooks in their jaws. Okay. Then I was just talking about Joel, like I said, he's going to take the northern army and bring them to a land barren desolate. All right. What's that? Something about the Middle East. Okay. And that's where you see a lot of these militaries at right now. China, Iran, all right, and Russian troops been over there. A lot of these militaries been over there. All right, it's already been going down. It says the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. You're right. You see, it's right around the corner, man. It's right around the corner. These prophecies is at the door. They're playing out. All right. See, because that's the thing about the scriptures. A prophecy just don't just happen directly then and there. When you dealing with Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, things have to play out. To the full measure, like it's written, in the book of Esdras. Okay. Matter of fact, where's that at? We'll get to that article. See, and that's why a lot of people don't believe either. Because if things would just happen directly, just boom right then and there, hey, that'll wake some people up. But like it says in the book of Revelations, the day of the Lord shall come like a thief in the night. And that's what the Lord is doing. These people are being plotted on. The Lord got these people in the trick bag. 2nd Esdras 4:36. And unto these things Uriel the archangel gave them answer and said, even when the number of seeds is filled in you, for he have weighed the world in a balance, right? If you ever seen a balance, right? It show you it's a measuring thing, It says By measure have he measured the times, and by number have he numbered the times. You see? And he does not move or stir them until the said measure be fulfilled. And that goes into what I was saying. You know, a prophecy just don't take place overnight. You know, he wait till that measure is filled. You know, to is complete. All right. So right now, if that measure needed to be a 100 grams, guess what? We might be at 97 grams. I just put it like that. But then once the Lord put that other 3 grams on there, all right, then there you have it. Now that prophecy has been fulfilled, or that prophecy is taking place, right? Even the thing with the EU or America separating from NATO, that's all biblical prophecy, you know. And that's what we deal with in Great Millstone. We deal with the prophecies. We deal with the things that's written in the scriptures. So let's grab another scripture, because I was thinking upon another scripture. The book of Joel real quick, right? Because I mentioned, these nations are being gathered there, right? This is what's taking place, Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man. See, and that's why Russia is able to speak, because the Lord, he have woke these other nations up, and they're not backing down from America. America once had this this superiority complex, But if you look at the average American, even these people that's in office, man, they don't look confident anymore, man. It's all a fucking act. It's all a fucking act, man. It says, let all man of war draw near. Let them come up. And that's what's taking place. All right. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. Gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. See, and that's why Russia is speaking. You just can't say whatever you want anymore, America. It says, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you right, and that goes back into that measure too, things being ripe, all right, that those prophecies have to play out. All right, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, for the press is full, and the fats overflow, for wickedness is great. So all this stuff is, playing out, man. All right, and look, and all this is playing out because what? Like it says, the wickedness is great. Ultimately, this is the judgment of the Lord, of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You see? Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Right? And I was just talking about Joel 2:20, right? It speaks about what? The land, barren desolate. Where the Lord is dragging these nations to receive judgment. So let's go into this. Let's read a little bit of this. Russia have issued a stark warning to the United States, cautioning that any military strike on Iran's nuclear facilities could lead to a catastrophic consequences for Middle East and beyond, right? Because, Russia got its allies. Russia and China have, two of the best militaries, basically Russia, China, and U.S. But when you go and you look into their weapons, especially Russia, I think, and maybe even Germany too, I think Russia has the best military, you know, from them having the Satan 1 and the Satan 2, you know. Russia got some shit over there, and they actually got men, real men in their military. Not like these Babylonians over here, these weak ass Edomites. And here you go, you got Trump talking about he want to kick Jake out the army. Nigga, you need Jake, right? Because you Edomites are weak mentally, physically. All right, y'all not really warriors like that anymore, man. And Jake have always been have been part, you know, of these other nations, you know, militaries, you know, when you go throughout history. That's what made these other kingdoms great. Whether it was the Greeks, the Romans, you know. Jake have always been all up in there. All right. That's the reason, you know, majority of these societies that ruled upon the earth thrive. It's because of Israelites. It says a statement delivered by Russia Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei and Rubkov comes amid escalating tensions following U.S. President Donald Trump's recent threat to bomb Iran unless it agrees to a nuclear deal with Washington. See, and that's a straight up look, man, we're gonna bomb you. That's the typical nature of America, right? That's why you read in what's that book of Ezra? Might be the 11th chapter, 13th chapter. It speaks about what? No more hurtful claws, man. Because that's how this Edomite that's how this Edomite responds to everything, all right, which is what? Violence. It says the development has reignited the global concerns over the fragile balance of the powers in the region, with multiple news outlets and reporting of the potential fallout. And another thing, I wonder what that doomsday clock say now, right? You know, we getting closer and closer to 12 at midnight, you know, to that blackout. According to the Times of Israel, Roboskov emphasized the strikes of Iran's nuclear infrastructure would have a far-reaching, devastating effects. The consequences of this, especially if the nuclear infrastructure is hit, could be catastrophic for the entire region. He said in an interview with Russia's International Affairs magazine, Moscow has positioned itself as a mediator, offering to facilitate dialogue between Washington and Tehran to de-escalate the situation, right? So hold on, why would Russia be a mediator? That goes back what? To Ezekiel the 38th chapter. See? Showing you these prophecies is real, man. Robotsko's assertion that, I'll probably fuck that word up, that Trump's rhetoric only serves to complicate the situation, underscoring Russia's opposition to military action. Russia's warning following Trump's comment to NBC News over the weekend, where he threatened military action and secondary tariffs if Iran refused to negotiate, right? And there's a lot more to this, you know. Look, and if the U.S. do that, yeah, shit is going to get real. Let's read a little bit of Ezekiel and we're going to close up, you know. Probably, I don't know, man, depends. Probably read more than a little. Ezekiel 38. All right, and we the only ones that go through prophecy, all right, on a daily basis, teaching the prophecies. You other camps that don't. Y'all not the man of the Lord. Thought I'd throw that in there too. Ezekiel 38:2. Son of man, set thou face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Mesech and Tobal, and prophesy against them, and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, chief prince of Mesech and Tubal. All right. I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, right? See, this is the Lord talking to her, to who? Russia, right? It says, and another thing, right? If you want to know who Gog, all right, Magog, hey, you can easily go to Google, right, and just put those in, man, and it actually show you a map on it. It'll show you Russia, right, and in the Turkey area, you know. It says, I will turn thee back and put, and this is talking about Russia. I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth with all thy army and horses and horsemen, and all thou cloth with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling the sword, right? And another thing, Russia they got all kind of military deals, you know, with these different countries, you know, India, Iran, you know, Turkey, right, these different African countries, like it says. Well, we're gonna get to it, you know. Read this part over again. So that's why, you know, Russia is you know, saying these things, right? All of them clothed with all sorts of armor, with a great company, with bucklers and shields, all of them handling a swords. And know what? That's another thing, right? It's like I ain't gonna say fucking extortion, you know. These other nations basically paying for protection, you know. If this happened, well, we want to do this, we want nuclear, but you got to back us up, you know. If U.S. come up against us, but look, we promise you these kind of natural resources and, you know, such and such, and we also back you up, you know. Hey, anything to come up against the U.S., you know. It says Persia, Ethiopia, Libya with them, and all of them with shield and helmet. Gomar and all his bands, in the house of Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou, all thy company that are assembled unto thee, be thou a guard unto them. You see? It's the point right there. So you just can't, you know, bomb fucking Iran, right? Because according to biblical prophecy, guess what? Russia is a guard. It's a guard unto them, right? That's what it's on. You look, you see Persia, right? Persia, fifth verse, right? That's Iran, right? That's their ancient name, right? So if you fuck with them, you fuck with Russia, all right? That I'm gonna say all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashiach Shai by Shimmer Kakadash. The Bonnet Citadels of GMS, also salutations. So I came out there to switch this truth, and also shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect people.